Wet weather on this Monday evening. We have multiple crews out in the rain tracking the storm. I'm 2 News anchor Russ McCaskey. We're going to begin, though, with our Storm Shield chief meteorologist, Brett Anthony. He's been tracking the rain and all the problems that go along with it. Brett?
Hi, Russ. Yeah, we've been tracking this storm since Friday, and now we're in the final stages of the storm, but we still have some light rain to go through and some wind that will increase this evening, maybe gusting up to 40 to 45 miles an hour here in just a couple of hours. Let's take a look outside first. Cody Jackson out there on the streets. Well, we're not going to have him, so we're going to go to our weather alert here today, and here's why. We have the rain this evening with areas of high water along those streets. You can easily be driving. You hit a puddle, do a little bit of hydroplaning. The strong winds, as I mentioned, coming in here with gusts close to 45 miles an hour perhaps at some time this evening. Perhaps not going to cause any damage, but still some strong gusty winds. And the chilly air on top of that, we're going to be in the 40s and 50s this evening. Storm Shield radar tonight, still some light rain right in the Tulsa metro area and a heavier batch up to the north through Washington County, now sliding over into Nowata County. And this batch of rain, again, working its way south and eastward. But did you notice on the back edge of this, we start to see just this little bit of a slightward south transition here, so that's going to keep us in the rain, I think, at least up until about 10 o'clock tonight in parts of Green Country. So our rainfall amounts have been pretty impressive. Wilburton, 3 inches of rainfall. Bristow, 2 1/4, and Tulsa just under an inch. Look at the temperatures: 56 in Tulsa, 55 at Bartlesville, 60 still at Eufaula. Here's the evening planner. Wet and windy at 7 p.m., 55 degrees. Winds around 25 miles an hour at 10 p.m., 55 degrees. The rain coming to an end, and the rain is done for everyone by midnight, 52, and partly to mostly cloudy skies. No storms in the next 7 days. Wait till you see what we have headed our way. Some great fall weather. We'll go over those details in your certified most accurate 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Brett, thanks. Can't wait to see that. A 2 News traffic alert now. We're working out on the roads to keep you safe on your evening commute. 2 News anchor Stephen Romo joins us now live from the studio. He's been tracking the traffic conditions. Stephen?
Yeah, Russ, there's quite a bit of stop and go traffic out there. You can see these red areas. That means the traffic is stop and go. If we take a look at this one right here in the Tulsa metro area, this is 21st Street. It's slowing down traffic in both directions. You'll want to watch out for that. We are on Operation Slick Streets. That was just redeclared about 20 minutes ago. We're keeping an eye on all of this for you. You can find the latest at KJRH.com. And starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., we'll have your complete coverage of your daily traffic.
All right, Stephen, thanks. Students at Bishop Kelly will be back at school tomorrow. Classes, as you may know, were canceled today after an early morning power outage. You saw this story first on 2 News this morning as our overnight team covered the storm as it blasted its way through Green Country. Crews restored all the power lines affected near 41st and Yale. Administrators will now have to figure out how the 800-plus students will make up for that missed day. Well, the weather is causing massive delays. We're out at Tulsa International Airport. We've been here most all day long, and there have been major problems through the center part of the country, from Texas on up into Oklahoma, into Kansas, where they're supposed to play a playoff baseball game tonight. That's been canceled due to the weather, and the weather problems continue all the way on up into Chicago. Major delays at airports across the country, including Tulsa International. If you're flying out tonight, you definitely are going to want to call ahead to make sure your flight is still going out. We talked to one woman who was trying to make her way to Corpus Christi. She was told it may be Wednesday before she makes it there. That's how bad this storm is affecting airports across the country. Well, the National Weather Service is working right now to try to determine if the storm that tore through Arkansas early this morning was in fact a tornado. That storm killed 1 person and injured 3 others in the town of Ashdown. The sheriff says that a man died and a woman and 2 children were hurt when a tree fell on their home. Well, today is a 2 News Weather Alert Day, which means we're taking extra steps to keep you ahead of the storm with expanded coverage. We've brought you hourly updates on air and online, and we'll continue to provide consistent updates as the situation changes. It's also a good time to download our Storm Shield app. It works just like a weather radio. Now, aside from the weather delays going on out here at the airport, we're here for another big story, and this one involves Southwest Airlines that's located 250 miles to our south at Dallas Love Field. Major changes are affecting Southwest today. It's good news for that airline, but for Tulsa International, it means that some flights are getting the axe, and these changes happened just hours ago.
For Southwest Airlines, it's a good day. For airports like Tulsa International, not so much.
We're losing 3 frequencies a day right now, 1 to Dallas, 1 to Denver, 1 to St. Louis.
Federal restrictions for Southwest were lifted today. That makes direct flights easier. Southwest Airlines, when leaving Texas, used to have to make a stop in a neighboring state. The rules greatly benefited airports such as Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and Albuquerque.
For the cities in the states outside of Texas, a Brett Amendment, as kind of quirky of a law as it is, has been very beneficial to our markets.
But to date, those restrictions expired. As an immediate result, Southwest cut 3 flights in and out of Tulsa. Looking at the big picture, 3 flights is not a huge deal, but some are concerned that 3 could turn into more. Tulsa City Councilor Phil Lakin says there's no need to panic. He believes it will have a minimal impact on Tulsa as a city.
A recruiter or an employer is not going to come in here and say, well, we're not selecting Tulsa because you're down from 6 flights to 5 flights a day to Dallas. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Travelers we talked to agree losing 3 flights isn't terrible news on the surface, but when there are weather delays, like today, there are even fewer options to get you where you need to go.
I think it'd be a concern because it's just going to make it more difficult to be able to get out. You know, if they're cutting flights and all of a sudden your availability is going to be limited.
So we lost 3 flights today, but we can tell you in the last year and a half, Tulsa International Airport has increased by 3 direct flights to other parts of the country. Southwest to Chicago Midway, Allegiant to Orlando, and American to Charlotte. Coming up tonight on 2 News at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a look at just how many people fly in and out of Tulsa International Airport in the last year and whether that's trending up or trending down. That coming up tonight at 6. Meantime, new at 5, 2 people arrested in the case of a missing Piedmont girl. Oklahoma City police arrested 16-year-old Chad Raymond and 17-year-old Chloe Thomas. Each faces a complaint of first-degree murder in connection with the disappearance of Ann Hill. Hill was reported missing in April when she didn't come home from a friend's house. Her car was found in Edmond more than a week later. An update now to breaking news that we first brought you on 2 News midday. Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt says that the state of Oklahoma does not have the drugs on hand or the medical personnel in place to carry out the executions set for November the 13th. As a result, the Attorney General is asking for a delay in the execution until January for Charles Warner and 2 other prisoners. Last week, as you may recall, I got a first-hand look at Oklahoma's death chamber in McAllister. Prison officials spent more than $100,000 renovating the room. You can see exactly what your tax money paid for. It's right now on our website at kjrh.com. The latest now on the Ebola outbreak after a second confirmed case in Dallas. Experts here in Green Country are going over their plans. The mayor's office confirmed that Dewey Bartlett attended a meeting today in Oklahoma City about the virus. What was discussed in that meeting is unknown at this point, but the Tulsa County Health Department would like to reassure the community that plans are in place, even though this area is considered a minimal risk as of right now.
So we know exactly what we're doing and we can handle this. Hopefully it doesn't become an issue, but if it is, we know how to respond.
Tonight on 2 News at 6, what reminders the health department is sending to local hospitals after learning that the second Ebola patient in Dallas is a healthcare worker, and pictures of that nurse just now into our newsroom. NBC News says that a close family friend confirms that she is 26-year-old Nina Pham. This is a picture from her Facebook page. Pham became infected while caring for Thomas Duncan, the Liberian man who died from the virus last week. The CDC blames a breach of protocol for the first person-to-person Ebola transmission in the U.S.
We have to rethink the way we address Ebola infection control because even a single infection is unacceptable.
Meantime, a Louisiana waste facility says it will not accept the ashes generated when Thomas Duncan's belongings were incinerated, at least not until state officials agree that it would pose no threat to public health. More coverage on the Ebola outbreak coming up on NBC Nightly News. Well, you could be paying more every time that you check out at a register in Owasso. They want to raise the sales tax. 2 News reporter Liz Bryant joins us now live with more on exactly how much more you could be paying. Liz?
Hey Russ, the idea is that thousands come to these shopping centers here in Owasso every weekend, so why not capitalize on that since they spend a pretty penny. Here is the breakdown. For every $100 you spend in Owasso, tack on 50 cents to that with this proposed sales tax hike for $100.50.
Believe it or not, I bought when I came back from Vietnam in 1969.
His 69 Mach 1 Mustang named Satisfaction.
I lived on $50 a month and was able to buy one.
But to truly enjoy, Terry Guthrie wants the chrome out of the garage and onto a smooth Owasso road.
You can't complain about things if you don't, try to help with it. You can't complain about the roads if they, don't want to pay a half a penny here and there.
Owasso City Manager asking for a permanent half-penny sales tax to fix cracking streets, build a new fire station, and hire 16 police officers in the next 3 years.
We know that we're very far behind in comparison to almost all cities our size, not only in the state but in the region. And we need it because we're in desperate need of manpower to keep up with the call volume.
That call volume up 71% since 2003, according to the chief. So are shootings, robberies, and assaults. Terry, satisfied with the route the city is on since 1980, is voting yes for the tax hike.
I mean, they're going to need it. The more and more people, and this place has grown so much, it's unreal.
Now think of this as a $4 million a year bonus check for those 3 departments, fire, police, and streets, because they actually already get money from the general fund. This is just allowing them to do more with their departments. Owasso residents vote January 13th. Of course, 2 News keeping you up to date along the way. Liz Bryant, 2 News, works for you.
Hi, Liz. Thanks. 2 News working to cover stories in your neighborhood. The water is safe to use again in Nowata County. A line ruptured last week near South Coffeyville, but full pressure has been restored. Dozens lost water over the weekend, and people were encouraged to boil their water. Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Halloween in Green Country. Bartlesville's Kitty Park is hosting its Spookorama event this weekend. It features a maze for toddlers and a not too spooky haunted house and other attractions. Storm damaged caused that park to close not too long ago, but folks who run that place say they are happy to be back open again.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. The storm we had earlier this month kind of damaged our roller coaster, but we got it back up and going, so with a lot of help from the community.
A lot of people pitched in to make that happen. Spookorama is this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Kitty Park in Bartlesville. Snapchat concerns. Still ahead, who's most at risk from this latest data breach that's targeting the popular messaging app?
And the rain eventually coming to an end tonight. We're looking at a live picture here from Cody Jackson, looking at the clouds and the storm moving overhead. We'll talk about that in the forecast just in a few minutes. As we go to break, though, I got to show you this picture here from the east side of Bartlesville. Jackie McBride sending in some high water out there on the east side of Bartlesville. You're watching 2 News Works for you at 5.